I basically started up. I know this is a constant like seesaw back and forth. Like, am I doing it? Am I not? But I'm starting up weekly shorts again. Met with my buddy Alexander the Titan. He's this really talented horror shorts creator. He's an OG, man. He's been doing it for a while. Um, but it's a really small space. There's not a lot of creators who are doing this and like at our level. And yeah, he passed like 100K subs maybe a couple months ago. And so we're both now like basically accountability partners for each other. He told me like, why would you just let your channel go to waste? Like I was in a mindset where I was like, nah, like I'm too good for shorts, whatever. But there's a lot of value in having an audience. And I've already built up a pretty sizable audience. So like, why not just continue that? It doesn't mean that I'm not going to be making features. I can do both. So that's
Yeah,
what I'm at.
I think you do both. It's a lot, but you do both.
Yeah. How are you? What have you been up to? You're busy?
Man, I've what's been going on in the last week? Yeah, we've been having meetings for Value Mentality with our two new helpers, ambassadors slash interns.
Ambassadors. I love it. You're giving
They
college
would like
credit, yeah? Is this a college credit type deal or
you broke up a little.
is this the, can you hear me? No?
I can hear you now.
Our Wi-Fi is going in and out.
Not
Yeah,
really. Why?
okay. But no. Was wondering, are you giving like college credit for this shit? Or are they just like ambassador type deal? Like what's the play?
Dude, I can barely hear you.
Oh fuck.
What's going on here?
I don't know. You want to start again?
Is it you or me? Oh, I can see you now.
Yeah? Are we back?
Yeah, we're back. Let's
Okay,
power
we're
through.
back. We're back. Um, are these interns, are they getting college credit or what's the play?
Define college credit.
What do you mean?
No such thing.
It's pretty objective. I I wonder what
So,
someone has to do in order to give college credit. Like what a
oh
company
yeah.
has to do. There's no way you're giving them college credit.
Kidding. I did not mean for you to actually define it. Um, they, bro, they are just, they're good friends and they got some time in their hands, so they're helping us with it. But
Yeah.
I told them like, limit, man. If something happens with us, like, I can only try to repay the favor. And we had a, I don't know, we had a couple big meetings, and like, if nothing else, it gets Tanner on best behavior. Just like it's like reinforcement. Like he gets his little like tortured artist mode on. Like, well, what do you girls think of this? What do you get? And they're just like, it's great, it's great, it's great. And like, what? So it's stuff like
Positive
that.
reinforcement's always a good thing.
Yeah,
Dude,
just like
yeah.
some good, like objective, a dose of reality, rather than it just being like written off by like, oh, Duke's just positive about everything, so like it doesn't really mean anything.
Really? I don't get that from you at all, bro. I mean, I think it's
He's
probably just because you're passionate about the brand, right? So you're probably spitballing ideas like all the time, or what?
on some level. Yeah, he kind of voiced to me that like I don't really know what to make of it sometimes because you're so passionate, and I'm just like, that's okay.
Dude, the thing about passion, because I totally get where you're coming from, but it's like there's that fucking what is it, like a woodpecker, the kind of bird that's like going in one direction, and then it tilts and then it goes one direction. And that's what investors call that, like that type of an entrepreneur, because they go one direction. People, we never know in like these new like innovative projects we're coming up with, we never know what's going to hit. So all you can do is just be throwing shit at the wall and being positive about it and having that positive mindset. It's like you can't really even self-critique or self-judge that much before you put it out there, because at the end of the day the audience is going to tell you what they like.
Totally. And I think, when you get negative feedback, you try to take that in a positive way too. I
Yeah.
didn't I don't feel any remorse about being the way that I am with it. I think it's much easier to be the alternative, which is, take everything to heart,
It is.
mirror how the market is treating you, forget the wins really quickly and stuff,
Yeah.
where I try to have real, strong mind.
But I think yours too leads to more longevity. It's not as short lived. Um,
Yeah, it's not.
also going back to like your ambassador program, which I fucking love. Um, I that thing of getting in at the ground level, I really want to speak to this because recently some of this shit came up and I've had to deal with throughout the time that I've started making shorts. I have limited resources. I am providing value, and this is how I basically I don't pay everybody on my sets. And that's just because of the quantity of stuff that we put out. It's the reality of like, I'm not a trust fund baby. I can't, like, if I were paying everyone on my sets, I could probably make like a short a year. And just knowing myself, I wouldn't be content to do that. There are certain types of people that have stuck with me like your ambassador program. And
Yeah.
because exactly what you're saying, they're going to be rewarded handsomely when the time inevitably comes. It's just around the fucking corner. The people who have no credits and aren't willing to go on any projects unless it's paid at a certain rate are going to go nowhere. And like, that's a tough pill to swallow. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people who, feel that like they deserve to, regardless of what level they're at, they deserve to be compensated. I would love to compensate everyone. However, at this level, there is a value that you are providing for these people who are coming onto your team. There's a value that I'm providing. I'm giving people demo reels and really high end content that they can then repurpose for their own uses where
Yeah.
they don't have anything. And I've just, the only reason I bring this up now is because you reminded me with that. But also, I've just come up against this recently, and I'm always going to stick to that of that, like, there's so many people out there who come to LA and they're like, I deserve to get this certain thing. And just that, it feels entitled to me. It doesn't feel like it's someone's right just because they're on a project or whatever. It's like you can get value out of certain things that aren't
Yeah.
monetary.
Monetized. Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's a little bit of a middle ground between that too, obviously. Like
There
for me,
is.
add to like certain projects that I look at that I get an audition for, I'm just like, dude, I'm not gonna break my back necessarily on this like student film and
Yeah.
not get paid at all. And I could be wrong, but that's also me gauging like what the situation is. If I'm doing something with you, I know that you're gonna bring a professionalism and I'm gonna get something out of it that's worth something as well. I mean,
At the same time, you're also at a certain level now to where there is more of a balance because you have, I mean, bro, you have demonstrated your talent. You have been in certain things that have a certain caliber. We've made stuff together that have hundreds of thousands of views. I'm talking about people who, like, you know, are just starting out, and there's like a certain level of, yes, there's always a balance, but I also want to vocalize this side of it that I really don't hear that much of, which is
yeah.
like, I feel like people need to hit the ground running more of just, let's get in the trenches, let's do it, let's just make something.
Well, I think I know I was always down to do stuff for free if I knew that the thing was good, a good product. I don't think that ever really changes for smart people. Like, or if you're able to get a sense of what you're signing up for, I guess on some level, like, when people do indie movies, even when they're huge movie stars, they don't do it for the money. They do it because it's going to be good. Same thing working with you. They know that it's going to be a certain level. It's going to be good. And then like working with us on value mentality, something that we've already built an aesthetic and they're friends and they're smart. So it's like, it's an opportunity for us to all kind of like do this fun thing together.
Yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, too, even when I'm at the high levels and everyone's getting compensated really well for shit, I still want to retain that spirit of like, we're here together as a team to make something dope. And we're
Good.
stoked about it because whenever you have the energy of someone on a set who's like only in it for the money, when you're making art, it's like you can feel it, man. It's like it's just an energy about it that's not conducive to like making the best art.
Totally. And it blows my mind that there's not more like good stuff out there because good stuff tends to make money. So it's like, why isn't everyone's set, you know, the same values? But anyway, yeah, it's interesting priorities for different people. Um, yeah, I'm excited about it. I mean, just making good stuff. Acting wise, right now, dude, I'm kind of excited. I mean, I had that movie coming out. Should be coming out soon. The fraternity movie.
Where's it coming out on?
It's. I know it's gonna have a screening in LA. That's gonna be soon.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, yeah. If you come, you come. I would love for you to be there.
Dude, let me know. 100% I'll be there.
I appreciate it, man. I because this is the type of thing. Blaine, my buddy, went to the one in New York and he said it was sick. So
It
I
already
would,
premiered in New York.
yeah. It invited me to the screening, but I was like, I'm not gonna fly myself out to New York.
You're like, you get in first class? No,
Right? Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
not gonna be there.
I'm not necessarily. I mean, I didn't realize this is a big thing. They kind of brought it up pretty casually. And I was like, I'll if there's one in LA, I'll just wait for the LA one. But
But that's
God,
interesting though. So they're doing the screening. They did the one in New York. They're doing a screening in LA. And then what are they thinking like release strategy wise? Do you know?
dude, they never tell me shit. I hate that. But
Have you asked?
uh, yeah. And they were just like, oh, dude, we're doing the film festivals and stuff. But that was a while ago. So
Interesting. Have they done film festivals?
no idea.
Dude,
Actually,
that's interesting.
yeah, I know. Actually, it'd probably be good for you to meet this guy at some point.
I would like to. I love meeting with like, and this feels like, I mean, it had some money behind it, obviously, but it was still kind of more of an indie type deal, right?
Lindy, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no,
I
just
love I love meeting with other indie producers because there's 100 ways to skin a cat and no one knows the answers. Like everyone, you can put on a face or whatever, but like everyone's trying to figure it out. Every project is different, every release strategy is different.
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So no, I totally agree. But yeah, dude, so that'll be interesting. But I kind of have a good feeling about it randomly. And then I got that Lifetime movie coming out, and got a pickleball tournament this weekend. So that's what we're doing,
Got the well-rounded life. It's good.
dude. A little balance. Never hurt anyone.
Well balanced. That's dope, bro. You haven't been, I mean, you were doing that audition like a week ago. So you still got some stuff coming in.
I mean, I had a string of auditions, a bunch of them, and then yeah, this week nothing, and I'm taking a week off from meeting with the coach. Uh, the
It's
audition.
wild how you go. I mean, bro, the unpredictability of that is crazy. Of like, you have a week where you have fucking 5 auditions, and then the next week it's nothing. Like, just mentally, I can imagine, even as good as you are with like self help shit and like positive mentality, all that kind of stuff, I still would imagine that that's a taxing kind of deal because there's no predictability in it. For me, like, I'm kind of setting my own schedule. I can put on the gas when like I want to make more projects or not. But for you, like the things kind of come in as they do.
On some level, but I'm also like I like to think I'm very realistic about it in the sense that even when I'm getting a lot of auditions, they're not necessarily for sick stuff. Like I don't know how important it is to just be acting and auditioning. I think it is, but I know what my goal is, which is to be up for and get in the rooms for really good stuff. I don't know how that's going to come necessarily, but I know like these auditions I was doing where there was a ton of them. You know, people were also telling me like, "Oh, how are you getting these auditions? It's a writer's strike right now." I'm like, I don't even know the legitimacy. I don't know if these things. it could have been like delayed audit. Like you just don't know the legitimacy of these
Are
whole
these
things.
things that your reps are sending you, or is it kind of you looking through breakdown?
I never look through breakdown. Fortunately, I'm pretty lucky.
Damn, bro, that's a good place to be. I mean, that already, like celebrating wins. I know so many actors, they're every single day, every hour, they refresh the fucking page and they're doing the student shorts and all that kind of shit. So,
Look, man. No, I appreciate that, and you're so right. And there's a time where I was trying to figure out how to do that stuff. I was never very good at it, finding auditions and stuff. And then next thing you know, like it felt like I couldn't get a rep, and then you get a rep, and they still don't get you up for stuff. And then next thing you know, dude, enough time and enough making it my goal, and I got reps that are like good and awesome, and yeah.
yeah, I know that wasn't the situation for you recently, so I'm glad you found some people.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even my reps before they were good. It's just like I'm still always trying to find ones that like just get me into the room
The big
on
room.
like big rooms. And also like, I want to do commercials right now. That's a specific thing. And I just got this commercial agent. Haven't really been sent on anything
Yo,
yet.
why aren't we bringing on like high level casting directors onto this pod?
It's a good idea.
If I were in your shoes, those would be the people I'd be hitting up.
We have to. You're so right. All
Like
right.
literally, let's bring in like Carmen Cuba. Like,
Yeah.
why not?
Or like if I can get to the casting directors that cast like Timmy's shows somehow or something.
You
You
find the back door in through, yeah.
deal 1, 2. Grace Van Patten's casting.
Just like their whole team, like the
Yeah.
whole fucking except
Oh,
them. They're like, oh wow, like 100 people now in my circle. They've all been.
yeah. Oh
Um,
my
dude,
funny.
what percentage of stuff that you're getting in, like these auditions, would you consider like the big high level? Because I know you mentioned a couple of them that I would consider are big opportunities. But what would you say?
I had 4 auditions in the past month, and 50% of them were like, so probably two of them were like, one was HBO, and then the other was like a big TV show for something else. Then one was like an indie movie that was, there's SAG, but I think it was like 250 a day or something, and then one of them was kind of like that. So, but then like you get a big one, usually it's like, oh, sick, like we got it, like thank God. But the casting type I talked to you about, it was like laughable for HBO. I was like supposed to be this like trash
Right.
trash man that's like and like being made fun of the whole time.
Yeah,
Um,
can you unpack that a little bit? Because I know, I mean, there was this actor who reached out to me who said, I mean, you actually read the script, so it's like a different kind of situation. But he saw like the description only of a role that I put that was like this person is fragile in this situation, and he like DM me and he was like, I know I've been over this, but he was like, yo, I really love your work, but I just don't consider myself like a fragile person. So just keep me in mind for future stuff. You think I'm gonna keep him in mind for future shit? No fucking way. But like, I'm curious, what is it, because you don't want to be like seen in a certain way, or you feel like your brand is a different thing, or because some actors, they like the challenge of like the 360 type deal. Are you looking for a specific kind of like archetype to play? Like what's the thought process behind that? And one more
I
question.
think no,
If it was like an
yeah,
HBO type deal, I mean, getting on there as like a role that you don't necessarily love, is that a bad thing? Couldn't that pivot to something else? Right?
I love it, man. Thank you. I think a I would love to get the part. I'm not against the part at all. Like it's a good acting part. It's just my like natural human instincts. Like, because I'm right. When I look at the casting breakdown and I read it in the script, I'm have my writer's mind on. I have my like audience mind on. And when I envision the part, I don't envision what I've seen of myself.
Yeah.
And that's purely so I'm like, shit, I already have a couple strikes against. That being said, you should always do your best because they can see your audition, and if you're good, they can either change it or say, at least you're getting in front of those casting directors and in front of those people. So it's like,
Yeah.
definitely go for it. But it's definitely like when I heard like, you know, ugly trash collector. That
Bro,
gets me.
anyone, it's not even just you. Anyone who reads that description isn't going to be hype to
No,
play.
no, but I'm genuinely not dissed by it. Like it didn't say ugly in the thing. It said ugly, like someone called him ugly in the script afterwards. But like, uh, it's not that I was dissed. Like, it's that I just know that they're not. If anything, I'm
Right.
too different. They're just not gonna like.
You're just not right for it.
I'm just GQ, dude. Like it's ridiculous. Surfer dude, like I get that stuff, but
Yeah.
um, look, they still submitted me for it. Like they accepted me for it, so I'm sure they're open to something. And like you do your best impression of like, hey, if you were in that situation. So I definitely played it like kind of starry eyed and like I could get made fun of and stuff. And it's fun part. Don't get me. By the way, I'm a character actor. I love to play
Yeah.
characters that are not like myself.
Right.
It's you're playing against expectations. You're in it's
It's just
colorful.
you're putting in all this work for a self-tape that is
Exactly.
likely to you're just not. It's like the deal of, bro, I get these auditions, I'm looking through tapes. I mean, I hate to admit this, but it's the fucking truth. It's like I go through a couple seconds. If they're not the type of look that I'm going for, I move
Yeah.
on to the next one. And the amount of time that that person took to prep for that thing,
Oh,
dude, saying it out loud, I feel like an asshole. That's like the industry, Like I don't have the time to like sit through the whole thing.
no, when my dad was casting his movie, like they were casting the main guy, the villain, and this guy that would come in, great actor, esteemed actor, but he came in and he's so unlike the part, and he didn't even get to act. And they were just talking. They're like, "Oh my gosh, can you make sure that this does not happen again? We don't have time for this." And
Mm.
like, that's just the system. That's not personal. Um, so with that being said, I mean, look, do you want to get different character roles? 100%, especially when you do something well, you want to prove that you can do a 180 and do something else, that you have acting chops. But
Odds are against you, and you're putting in all this work. I get that.
that's all it is. It's not personal. It's not like, oh, like I favor a certain part.
I
It's not
got
like I'm
you.
trying
I got you.
to heartthrob at all. It's just like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's it.
No, that makes complete sense, bro. That makes total sense.
In fact, like for me to get taken seriously, I'll have to play against type. But I think to get those parts, it's usually going to come from someone taking a chance on me, and maybe I know them or something, and they're going to say
Yeah.
like I'm traditional for it,
Yeah.
but we want Duke to be the plumber, like the skater plumber or something. Like that's more something like that I could grow the beard
Right.
for, like shave my head, something.
Yeah. Totally. Bro, are you trying to is the plan to completely circumvent like the indie space as of now and just kind of however it ends up happening land in those bigger rooms? Because before, when we started meeting and stuff, you like one play that you were considering was like even doing like sketches or like putting stuff up online, like all that kind of stuff. Are you now at the place where you're like, you know what, I'm not going to mess with that space at all, and I'm just going to kind of entertain the studio side?
I appreciate you focusing on me for this, man. Thank you.
Of course,
Um,
bro. I'm curious.
oh, totally, man. I think about it a lot, especially every time I hear comedy stuff, like even on Howard Stern. I'm just like, I need to get back on my comedy stuff. But um,
Like Howard Stern.
I do like Howard Stern. Yeah,
Oh yeah, it's just interesting you brought him up.
yeah. Wait, you do too, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. I just got Sirius Radio again. So I was listening to John Lovitz, Quentin Tarantino, which was not as interesting as I was hoping for. And then Brendan Fraser as well. But yeah, we got to talk about that because now that just came back to me. You listen to them too. No, I think what I'm focusing on, because I got this good manager right now and I'm getting auditions and stuff.
Yeah.
I think I see myself working value mentality and getting on a show or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Valley mentality is kind of like your, I mean, as of now, it's your more indie type,
Yeah.
it's like entrepreneurial. It's from
Look, I got the 2 TV shows, the half-hour comedies that I made as well. But I think I got to break into the business. And look, something comes up with something else, like a comedy thing or something, or like you just don't know. It just, whatever mood you're in as you talk about for yourself changes so much.
bro, it all like it's crazy how certain, especially I can only talk for myself, but I was so certain on like I'm only writing features now. And then it's like now I'm pivoting, now I'm doing both, whatever. It's like, it is really based on like mood and kind of where you're at mentally and whatever. It's all good. There's a million ways to get there.
Yeah, it's all to get the best out of us and become, successful.
The reason why I'm excited to get back into YouTube hard is because the truth is, bro, when it comes to like genre short form content, it's like the people at my level, we're few and far between. There's maybe 8 of us. And so we're early adopters of this space. And why I'm not completely going in, like, it just now makes total sense to me that I got to leverage that shit because there were a few weeks where, I don't get certain numbers or whatever, and then I kind of fall off. But it's about playing the long game because the margins on YouTube are so small, bro. Like you get to a certain level financially where it's like, you're making like a little bit, whatever, and then you crank the dial just a bit, or you go a few weeks over that, and it starts getting ridiculous. Like I know creators who, they're making like 10K a month and then it bumps up to 15, 20, 25. And it's just like, and I feel, and I see a couple of horror creators who are starting to get up there in those numbers, they're starting to climb. And I just want to be on that wave because that's freedom, bro. That's independence. Like I can then leverage my audience. It just all makes sense to me. I can leverage the audience to make features. I have extra cash. I can just fund my own shit. It's just, I'm doing what I love, you know, I'm definitely not at that place yet, but I have a pretty sizable audience already. So just continue to grow.
Awesome that you say that. I think it is a great thing to utilize. Obviously, like I keep forgetting about that you have like a huge following on YouTube. Yeah, like what? I mean, you could do bigger budget stuff too, even for shorts.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm feeling I want to keep up the consistency, so I'll be doing it weekly, but maybe like monthly or every 2 months or whatever, I'll do the lockdown, properly shot type stuff because I think it's important to have those too, not just the found footage. Even though those are really fun to shoot, it's about like a mix of both. Dude,
Keep
I
keep
mean,
pushing,
have you say that again?
keep pushing yourself to get better and better and better, and make the best high quality cinematic stuff you can do, right?
Totally. Our stuff that we've made together has like some of the most views on my channel. Do you know that?
I didn't really realize that. No.
Like, bro, Red Dress performed great. Um, what's the other one? The Momo sister one with Laura performed great. They're like over 100K.
That is crazy.
It's wild, right?
Yeah.
The grandma one we did is like 30 or 40K.
Oh
Like
my god.
us collabing on stuff for whatever reason, it's that secret sauce, People vibe with it.
Dude, they like what we got.
Yeah.
Well, I'm excited. We got to do another one.
We got to, bro. I would love to.
I'd love to. Um, Shit, man, that is awesome. Yeah, you gotta. Why the fuck not? I mean, may I ask how much money do you make on it? If it's 100,000 views, you gotta make some money, right? Not enough to be
It,
excited about.
bro, it's oh god, dude. It's like
Let's get
look, bro, I'll share the numbers. I'll share the numbers, okay? But the thing
it.
is, every video is different. It's not like you make 100,000 views and you get a set amount. For whatever reason,
Yeah,
it like some of it has to do with, I guess, length of time that the video is. Some of it has to do with like how advertiser friendly it is or
there an
whatever.
time? Like, do they tell you?
What?
Is there an explanation every time? Do they tell you, or what are
Bro, YouTubers, I mean, YouTube is notorious for like keeping their creators in the dark, unfortunately, for like a lot of stuff. Even if you get demonetized for stuff. Bro, the worst thing, Fisherman, which is now at 1.6 mil, they cut me off at like 100K. I can't imagine how much I would have made from that if they wouldn't have demonetized me after.
why? What does that mean? They took you out.
Like, you get full like advertising revenue, right? But at a certain point, like Fisherman, I do understand. There was a girl who like shot herself. It's pretty graphic for YouTube. Um, but basically like they just cut me off. So it's like a green money sign, and then you get like a yellow and then red if it's really bad. But yeah, I'm not suitable for all advertisers for that video. But yeah, I can't imagine how much I would have gotten. It would have been so helpful, bro, if they would
Why
have.
well, at one point, but then not suitable? Were you reported or what?
I was probably reported. Yeah, probably like a parent saw it or something and called me out.
My this kid that we met with, I guess he's making $30,000 a month on TikTok now.
Dude,
Yeah.
that's the thing, bro. Here's the thing that like our parents' generation still, I feel like, hasn't fully grasped, which is like you work like they know like the traditional 9 to 5 job. This kind of stuff that a lot of them like turn their nose to or like look down on, we can be making their entire yearly salary in a month.
Yep.
And
I mean, my dad gets it. My dad's like, dude, why aren't you doing that? Like, you can't come up with something like that.
dude, bro, I agree with your dad. I mean, the thing is, it's hard, right? Like, we only have a certain amount of time in the day. I know you got this survival job. I have a survival job. Um, but I could totally see you doing really well with like pranks or whatever, man. Like,
Thank you.
again, it's wherever you're at mentally, it's whatever mood you're in, what works for you. But I could see you having like a very successful prank channel. Or
I
even
could.
impressions, whatever.
I know it has to happen. All right, man. I think I'm too tired.
We almost made it, bro. We almost made it. No, dude, this was a late one. I appreciate you hopping on. It's good to see you.
Great to see you too, man. Yeah, maybe we get a guest next week. We're gonna figure it out.
Yeah, bro. I put that on you. Get a casting director for us.
Challenge accepted.
Hell yeah.
All right, brother.
Thanks, bro. Good seeing you.
Great night. Good to see you
Yeah,
too.
have a good week. Bye.